Navigating a relationship with a narcissist, well, it can feel like you're completely lost in a fog, right? One minute there's charm, the next there's confusion and pain. It is a really tough experience. But here's the good news. You can absolutely find your way out. So let's dive into the psychology of it all. We're going to break down what it is, how to spot it, and most importantly, how you can get your peace back.
Yeah, this question really hits home for a lot of people. You meet someone, and they seem so charismatic, so confident, almost too good to be true. And then, over time, you start to realize the person you're with feels, well, totally different from that perfect image they put out there. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are definitely in the right place.
So here's our game plan. We're going to walk through 5 key stages. First, we'll peek behind the mask and understand what's really going on. Then, we'll get good at spotting the red flags. After that, we'll cover 2 really powerful strategies for disengaging. And finally, we'll talk about the path to getting your life and your peace back.
Okay, first up, let's get on the same page about what we're actually talking about. What is happening psychologically behind that mask of, extreme confidence?
You see, this is the core contradiction. Narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, isn't really about vanity or self-love. It's a deep, bottomless need for admiration that actually comes from a place of huge insecurity. It's all a performance, and it's driven by fear. And this is the most crucial part to understand. That big, larger-than-life, arrogant personality, it's actually a shield. Psychologists see it as a defense mechanism, a fantasy world of superiority that they build to protect a very, very fragile sense of self-worth that gets bruised incredibly easily. And this just shows you the 2 main faces narcissism can wear. You've got that classic grandiose type, the arrogant, I'm the best kind of person. But then there's also the vulnerable type, who is driven by shame and is just hypersensitive to any criticism. And what's really fascinating is that these aren't always 2 different people. The same person can swing from that grandiose high to a complete vulnerable collapse the second their ego takes a hit. So let's move on. Knowing the psychology is one thing, but how does this stuff actually show up in real life? How does that initial charm slowly turn into control?
What we're looking for is a pattern. It's not just one of these things, it's the whole package. You see them putting themselves up on a pedestal, thinking they're special. You see that constant need for praise, like a car that always needs fuel. And then you see the really damaging stuff, using other people to get what they want and even putting them down to feel better about themselves.
If you want an easy way to remember this, think of this framework from Dr. Craig Malkin, the 3 E's: exploitation, entitlement, and empathy impairment. Just ask yourself, do they exploit your kindness? Do they feel entitled to your time, your money, your energy? And when you're hurting, do they just not get it or not seem to care? That's the 3 E's right there. Now, it is really important to say that narcissism is a spectrum. I mean, lots of people have a few of these traits, right? But for a doctor to actually diagnose someone with NPD, that person has to consistently show a pattern of at least 5 of the 9 official criteria. We're talking about things like a total lack of empathy or being obsessed with fantasies of unlimited success. So we're separating everyday selfish behavior from a serious, diagnosable disorder. Okay, so you've recognized the pattern. Now what? What can you actually do? Let's talk about your first line of defense, especially for those times when you can't, or maybe you're just not ready to, leave the situation. This right here is the whole key. A narcissist craves something called narcissistic supply. It's just a fancy way of saying they feed on attention and emotional reactions. It doesn't matter if it's positive attention or negative attention. Your anger is just as much fuel as your adoration. So the way to protect yourself is to cut off that fuel supply. And here's exactly how you do it. It's called the gray rock method. The idea is to become emotionally blank. The goal is to make yourself so boring, so uninteresting, that the narcissist just loses interest and goes somewhere else to find the drama that they need. So let's walk through it. Step 1, stop sharing personal stuff. Anything you share can and probably will be used against you later. Step 2, keep your answers short and neutral. Think one-word answers. Okay, I see. No emotion. Step 3, and this is the hardest part, avoid emotional reactions. When they say something to provoke you, you don't take the bait. And finally, step 4, do not defend yourself. It's pointless. It's like arguing with a brick wall, and it just gives them the reaction they want. You just become a gray rock. The gray rock method is a really powerful coping skill, but for a lot of people, the only true long-term solution is to leave for good. And that brings us to the no contact rule.
So what do you think happens when you suddenly and totally shut off their main source of attention and validation? Well, as you can probably guess, they don't take it well. Their whole ego is under attack, and they are going to do everything they can to get control back.
Going no contact is exactly what it sounds like. It means you block them everywhere. Phone, email, social media, all of it. No messages through friends. Look, this isn't about punishing them. It is a radical act of self-protection. It creates the quiet space you absolutely need to start healing. And you have to be prepared, because they will likely try a whole cycle of manipulation to pull you back in. They might try love bombing, suddenly showering you with all that affection from the very beginning. They might use gaslighting, twisting things around to make you think you're the crazy one for leaving. They might even launch smear campaigns, trying to ruin your reputation. Just knowing to expect these tactics, that's your best defense. It takes away all their power.
Okay, so how do you do it? Step 1, be thorough. Block them on every single platform. Step 2, tell your support system. Let your trusted friends and family know what you're doing so they can have your back. Step 3, and this is a big one, don't make a big, dramatic, "I'm leaving" announcement. That just gives them a chance to argue. Just go. And step 4, be kind to yourself. If you slip up and answer a text, it's not the end of the world. Don't beat yourself up. Just forgive yourself, reset, and get back to no contact.
Leaving is the first huge step, but the next journey, and honestly the most important one, is the journey back to yourself. So let's talk about what healing actually looks like after a relationship like this.
Healing is definitely a process. It starts with just acknowledging the reality of what happened. From there, it's all about rebuilding your support system, really prioritizing self-care, and allowing yourself to grieve, not just the person, but the relationship you thought you had. And you know what? Don't be afraid to seek therapy. A good professional can give you tools and validation that are just so essential for recovery.
Let's just end on this thought right here. Creating distance, whether it's by being a gray rock or by going no contact, it's not about being mean or cold. It is about recognizing that you deserve to live a peaceful life. It is a profound act of self-respect. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what is one small step, no matter how simple, that you can take today to start reclaiming your peace?